Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessing. I'm gonna definitely give y'all some times. I know some of y'all probably ain't even up yet. First things first, you already know. Hopefully, everybody having a blessed and productive Thursday. Hopefully, everybody was able to get through the work morning. Hopefully, some of y'all who was getting off of work, getting some good rest. Those who starting off their day early, make sure you grab what you need for the day. For those in the city, it's not as humid as it's been, but nonetheless, still keep you some water and keep you some fluids with you just in case. If you're out and about with the family, make sure everything is kosher. Make sure y'all enjoy yourselves. Yes, it is the summertime. It's still the beginning, so do what you need to do. Keep yourself safe as always. And if you celebrating birthdays this week or going into the weekend, I know it's cancer season. Another year and another blessing around the sun. May y'all enjoy your day, your weekends, whatever you may get into. Keep creating memories. Keep enjoying every moment of life. And if you was able to see another year in good health and good spirits, give your praises where it's due. Appreciate everybody that tuned in yesterday morning for the conversation. Definitely was one that was needed. And I plan on finishing that conversation. But I'm going to add some more elements to it. Because, again, we got to start getting down to the nitty-gritty of this stuff. You know, people always say they want to have the talks, but they don't want to be a part of the talks. So, but for those who missed it, you definitely catch the replay. And before I get into it, I already know what time it is. Let me put this up for safety reasons. But like I said yesterday, you know, at some point we're going to have to really start doing things a lot more better than what we're doing as a community. And I say this on a lot of levels. You know, like it's sad because, again, it goes back to what I was saying before. You know, it's sad when you can't have certain situations because 9 out of 10, somebody's going to ruin it. You know, and it's sad because, again, it should never be a situation like that, especially when there are children involved. You know, they are the ones who should never have to worry about that type of fear and that type of harm. And anybody who is either a guardian or a parent would be on the same level and say the same thing. Yeah, okay. We starting off early with the troll, right? Let me remind you that this is not a game, and if you think it's a game, find somewhere else to go. This is real grown-up talk, not kids' conversation. Again, we have to start doing better. It should never be allowed for people to come and mess up a situation, especially when it's something positive. Oh, you missed me so much, right? I know. No, you missed me so much. Y'all missed me with the bullshit. Now, again, it's sad that these type of scenarios happen all the time. And we ain't doing enough. I mean, and it's crazy because, again, no child should have to worry about possibly losing their life when they're supposed to be having a good time. But also, this is a situation where I said, while some situations, children should be home at a certain time, especially when there's nothing but nonsense and ignorance going on during the course of the evening anyway. But it's sad when you think they're supposed to enjoy something and it gets ruined. At what point do we say enough is enough? You know, people like to complain, but they ain't standing on business. And it's crazy because again, like children got hurt. Don't nobody see that that's a problem. Every time there's a situation and there's guns involved, at some point there's always a child that's getting caught in the crossfire or possibly not coming home. And again, this is the saddest case scenarios of it. You know, in some cases you gotta think, is it really worth it? You so fiend out to get your revenge on somebody so badly that it would cause a travesty like that. You know, this is things that people really need to start waking up. And again, start standing on business. Some people will cry and complain, but they're hanging with the same type of people who are causing the destruction in their communities. And it's sad. You can't sit here and say, oh, it's never this bad. But in the same token, right, part of the same drama and the nonsense that, again, is plaguing and destroying the community. Just Jay, baby. Like, again, I could remember at one point where there were certain things that even though it could have went down, it never did because, again, you had people who were standing on business and standing in numbers. You're not going to come over here and mess up a good situation because you got an issue with somebody. Even if that person is dead, so what? Your best bet, see him when you see him. But why bring it to a community event? Why bring it to a cookout? Why bring it to a kid's party? Why bring it to a baby shower, a sweet 16, you name it? Why would you do it? Knowing that, again, there could be possibly kids and even elder folks in there that could get caught in the melee. And to be quite honest, that's the dumbest thing you can do. Because if you got children yourself, would you want your child being caught in the crossfire like that? These are things people don't want to talk about. They don't want to really try to stand on, but will cry and bitch about things that are not happening. Well, until you really start getting your boots on the ground with it, this is what you're going to expect. Like, it's just common sense. Regardless of what, I don't care what kind of life anybody lives, there's codes and there's things that should never be crossed. Them unwritten codes. The unwritten codes was there for a reason. And most people that was living however they was living respected those rules and regulations. Civilians shouldn't get hurt in the midst of street drama. Like, save your street drama in the street somewhere else. Don't bring that shit to an event where people possibly might not be going home because you decide to start wilding out. Like, come on. Safe Haven, what's going on? See you up in here. You know, this is the problem. See, when you have these type of talks and discussions, some people want to bypass it. Some people will be down for a little bit and then go right back to square one. So it's like, again, if y'all not being consistent and standing on it, how you expect things to really get back to some form of order? It don't make sense. And it really don't. Because, again, you know, you got to think about it. You are basically destroying somebody's livelihood. You're destroying somebody's family. And you are also repeating the same cycle that y'all say y'all trying to break, which is the violence. I can remember at one point it was rare that anybody had to use their weapon. Now, unless it really was a life-threatening situation. But mostly anything else, hey, throw them hands. And may the best person win. But it ain't like that. And it's sad because, some people, they pride. And this goes for anybody of any age that feel a type of way about what I just said. It's sad when you let your pride trick you out your own freedom. It's sad that you don't think, it's best to try to alleviate situations by at least doing the grown-up thing. If I got an issue with you, I'm going to talk to you face to face. And it doesn't necessarily have to lead to me doing something to you. Or vice versa. Especially, again, when it ain't that serious. But it's sad when you got people, and again, it's not just the younger folks. We ain't just going to put it on them. Because, again, we got some older folks wilding out for respect. And it's like, how do you expect the younger ones to follow into something good or at least try to make something of themselves? And the only thing you're giving them is the blueprint to be destructive. Frugal, baby. You already know, if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. So as you see, we already have one immature person in here during this talking. We not doing that today. And again, happy Thursday to everybody that's waking up. But if you're waking up to be on somebody's nerve, man, listen, you might as well go back to sleep until tomorrow. Figure out your life. Real rap. And see, is the problem. Again, let's be real. How do you think that fares out to anybody when you can't have any type of functions because you got to deal with some form of ignorance at some point during this situation? And I think, again, that is sad because, again, there was codes. It was unwritten codes that I don't care what lifestyle you was living, you abided by those codes. It seemed like everybody don't give a damn no more. Man, that's the sad part about it. So again, we can't just blame one group without holding the other group accountable for some of the things they doing or still doing to this day. You got some people who still are out in the streets, like they didn't think to elevate and get outside of the street situations. Some people are behind the wall now because of these situations. So you got to be thinking about that. It's consequences to the things you decide to do. And if you ain't prepared for those consequences or you ain't going to stand up to it, then don't do it. Simple as that. That old saying, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. It's true. You ain't prepared to do 25 to life, possibly. You ain't prepared for some form of death penalty. Don't do it. Because what are you gaining out of that? And who really wins in that situation? I mean, let's talk about it. Who really wins in that situation? You done went all the way out your way to do something you didn't necessarily have to do, right? And now what? What do we have? Person locked up, one person possibly gone, and what else? Nobody wins. Families broken up, destroyed, hurt. Same process, like I just said, repeats itself again. Now you want to have people wanting to get back one way or another. And again, at what point does it stop? Because at what point do you say the kid's safety is the most important thing, especially when you know there's functions that are going to have children in, even teens? Again, why should these young ones be in a crossfire and possibly lose their life? Especially if they're not into no nonsense anyway. Now, the streets is the streets. Whatever happens in the streets, we already know what comes with those situations right there. You choose to live by that, hey, you're going to die by it, right? It's the same way when it comes down to anything that you do on the criminal level. Decide you're gonna still keep doing it. At some point, you're gonna meet your match. Might not be right away. And with some of y'all, guess what? The stupid stuff that you doing, the way kids are being hurt, elderly folks are being hurt, disabled people, even innocents is getting hurt. Guess what? At some point, going to get dragged out to the middle of the town because it's about justice at the end of the day. And the good thing is that there was justice that was served, in at least in the situation I'm talking about, because it's crazy. You know, again, some of y'all be knowing what's going on, and if you're not tied into anything that you would have to worry about, then what's so wrong with you doing what was right? And again, especially when this is possibly something that could be life-saving for a lot of people. It's like, again, some of y'all don't care unless it personally affects you. But you should think that it's not just about you, you know? Being selfish in that way of thinking is the reason why I see in some cases we ain't elevated or we stop elevating. I mean, come on now. Like, it is time for everybody to really start like focusing on the main picture at hand. Should never be to a point where, again, a child has to worry about being in that type of a dangerous situation or possibly not coming home. And again, you don't understand that you are ripping out the fabric of a person who, again, could possibly snap behind all of this. Some people don't take the death of their children the same way. So you never know what you just caused or created because of your negligence, your irresponsibility, and your overall pride and your ego. I wouldn't care if it was that serious of a situation with anybody. There's just a time and a place for everything. And coming to events where you know it's going to be children, old folks, young folks, people of all ages, basically, why would you sit here and bring your weapons in here? I was saying in some cases, if you feel like you got drama almost everywhere you go, then don't go to them places. Then you won't have to worry about that. That should be a last resort. Like I said, unless your life is really in danger and you have to, it's no need for it. Get back to dealing with it the way we used to deal with it. We got an issue, let's talk. And if the talking ain't gonna work and if we gotta scrap it out, then let's scrap it out. And if even after we scrap it out, we still can't come to some form of terms and agreement, we go our separate ways. We both go home to our families. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's real rap. Like, come on now. You get tired of hearing situations like that. You know, you got people who are trying to have a good time and even trying to network in some cases and can't even do that because you got to worry about your safety while you out and about. It's crazy. And again, should never be that way. And see, when you have these type of talks and discussions, you know, some people just, like I said, want to look the other way or they want to look at you like you crazy, but it's the truth. You would want somebody coming to your barbecue function and that's not. You would want somebody coming to your kid's birthday party or even one of your people's birthday parties and it's the same thing? No, I'm quite sure you would. That's just like you going out or you trying to do a singles night with some people. You think you want the wrong people in there and they could possibly mess that up? No, you don't want that. So again, it's about really standing in numbers and stopping same repeated patterns from happening. You know, nah, you're not going to keep messing up the functions. Nah, you're not going to keep making the neighborhood hot. especially when there's no need to. It's already hot weather-wise. You gonna make it hot police-wise for no reason? Like, come on, man. Another thing I'm gonna tell y'all too is a lot of y'all young ones and some of y'all older ones antagonizing the force. You antagonizing the force, and guess what? There's a reason why they call it the force for a reason. Like, sometimes y'all gotta let these people do whatever job they gotta do. Stop egging them on. Stop trying to get a situation where, oh, yeah, look, they was doing this, they was doing that. Some of y'all be provoking it. Then when something tragic does happen, then what? Now you want to be in the uproar. No, sometimes y'all cause the situations to happen. When it comes to them, let them do what the fuck they gotta do, man. Listen, I'm from that real old school era. We ain't give a fuck. We know they was gonna come around, do what they was gonna do, etc., etc., especially if they did get a call about something. That's what they supposed to do, right? So how does it fit out to y'all if sitting here, you antagonizing them, you stopping them from doing whatever it is they trying to do, and then now what? Getting arrested for what? Uncle L, what's going on, my guy? Like, come on, it's common sense though. Then if it comes a situation where again it could possibly turn tragic, then what? You want to try to blame them for something that y'all all caused to begin with. See, again, this is how I know in some cases some people's brains are completely fried, and some of it does have to deal with social media. I don't know why I say that, because look at how many videos or look how many content is out there when it comes down to those situations. And it's ironic how they always cut to the parts where you see certain things happening. But what happened way before that? In some cases, I already know what happened. Y'all sitting here provoking these ones, you're not letting them do their job, and constantly provoking. And then now when they decide to act, now all of a sudden got a victim. If you don't want that type of situation, yo, like, keep it pushing. If it ain't got nothing to do with you, mind your business. Let them folks do what they was doing. When you should step in and do something, you don't. I'm keeping it real, man. Just like I was saying the other week, group of kids, all these young teens, trying to harass a situation, well, trying to start a situation, which they kind of did. Some of it was being recorded like it was for social media. Then when the cops did what they were supposed to be doing, which was restraining somebody who's resisting arrest, and you got another person doing something, now all of a sudden it's, oh, he did this, he did this. Man, listen, y'all caused it. Like, why the weather start getting nice, and this is when everybody want to come out with all their sensitivity and negativity. Hey, keep whatever aggressions to yourself. Mind your business sometimes. People don't even do that. When you should mind your business, or when it should be your business to get into something, should be of importance. Like trying to save somebody's life. That's what I'm saying. Like, everything is being recorded. Everybody trying to get a viral moment. Everybody just trying to be known for something. Yeah, it was me that did this. Come on, man. You want that much recognition, that much fame? That shit ain't gonna get you but so far anyway. Parents, some of y'all that need to hear it, you better make sure your kids is not out here wilding out. Because I'm telling you, you got some of them even to the point they disrespecting even the blue and whites. Oh, FU, SMD, and middle fingers up, and sometimes even throwing shit like you wilding right now. At the end of the day, something hit one of them officers that's still assaulting the officer, nigga. So you still going to jail for it, no matter how minor it is. Like, what are you doing? Y'all don't value your safety. Y'all don't value your life. Is life preservation something that we need to go over again? crazy, man. And this is for any situation that's been like that anywhere around the world. At some point, everybody need to band up because you can't tell me you can't win with the strength in numbers. Because not everybody out here is wilding out and doing the crimes. Not everybody's out here causing and provoking certain things to transpire. So again, it's the numbers thing. If you're going to tell me a large number of people going to be scared of a small group of people, that's crazy. That's why I said there's no more unity within the community. Because we used to hold everybody accountable when you did some wrong shit, especially when it got cops involved or it made the neighborhood hot. Nah, nigga, you gonna get put out. If we didn't put you out, you might as well have left. Whatever you did, you might as well have left. When you think to come back, it'd be something on your ass. For real. And I don't care, that's for anybody of any age. If you think to mess up certain functions and certain people end up getting severely hurt or worse, you're gonna eat that. It ain't gonna be enough crying, enough pleading, enough begging to spare you when they decide to throw that book at you heavy. Keep playing and thinking that taking or almost taking somebody's life is a game. Again, the only way it should even come to that if it's really a situation where it calls for it. I don't care if you're dealing with religion or not. It's just common sense. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like some people just got the game completely messed up, man. You gotta start holding people accountable of all ages. If you mess up something in the neighborhood or just doing some shit that's tearing up and destroying and even destroying families, you gotta go. Because how we gonna preserve what we gotta preserve? How we gonna resource certain things that we can resource? How we gonna be able to fix what we need to fix if we damaging and destroying everything that we quote unquote, trying to build? It's like you building a store, but then you destroying it and not like, come on now. It's like you opening up a store and you destroying it by not, doing promotions. You ain't open when you're supposed to be open. You don't have the things you're supposed to have. You're self-sabotaging yourself regardless. And again, no child should have to worry about possibly being gone, laying up in the hospital or whatever just because. It's time to change that, man. Got to stop allowing negativity of that sort to be present in the places where it's not supposed to be at. And you're going to need to be strength in numbers. Because again, I can remember being younger coming up, even when there was events, it didn't matter who was doing whatever, right? It wasn't so much as that was police presence, but it was everybody was unified when it came down to these situations because it wasn't going to be things happening like that. And if it did, you know, if it did happen, guess what? At least it didn't happen where everybody was stationed at to do something that, you know, again, crime can happen at any moment. Not saying that it can't, but it's certain things that again, when it becomes too much, gotta put a stop to it. When you got people that don't value anybody's safety or livelihood, not even the children, those are cancers in the community that gotta go. Don't care if you know them, don't care if it's family, can't condone none of that. And see, it's to a point now where people are coddling people for the things that happen, but it's like, no, you gotta be held responsible. You did something that now is making world news. Now you better turn yourself in and face it. So I'm saying some people don't care. Some people will sit here and know what the consequences are and still do it, thinking they can get away with it. It's only so much you can get away with before you finally hit that wall that we're talking about. And then what? So, again, it's sad in these situations because, again, nobody should have to worry about losing life or being severely hurt. And in some cases, when people get hit, guess what? It'd be a long road to recovery. And some events that could be traumatizing to, like, prime example, kids get hit in the crossfire. That's traumatizing to them because they don't know what the hell happened, especially when they that young. They ain't knowing what's really going on. And 9 out of 10, you can stir up something that at some point, again, you are creating the same things you say you're trying to get rid of, the violence, the unnecessary gun violence. You're causing the same situations to happen and occur again. And that's the thing. Yeah, you thinking that things can't happen, but guess what? It'll happen in due time. And that's the thing. When people are in danger and they start destroying shit, gotta stop it right then and there in its tracks. That's just like with some of you folks, y'all don't want to teach your kids respect and manners. Guess what? Not having respect and manners is going to get them seriously hurt or worse. So you better think about, really starting to do what's necessary. Because guess what? It's going to be your downfall. It's going to be their downfall. Like, again, no child under a certain age should be telling no grown man or woman to SMD or kiss my ass. None of that. I literally was out the other day and heard a grown man about to really put hands and feet on this young boy because young boy really said SMD to him. And it was funny because he was like, I got kids your age that will put you right where you need to get put. I don't know who your parent is, but they better teach you some manners. And it's sad that nobody should have to even get to that point. Stop being so disrespectful. And those for the younger ones that need to hear it. Stop being so disrespectful. Pass that word on. Stop being so disrespectful. Have some manners and respect. Manners and respect can get you further in life than anything else. And that's the thing. Again, that mentality that, ain't nothing going to happen to me. I'm going to do what I want to do. Ain't nobody going to say nothing. Ain't nobody going to do nothing. Okay. You're going to have somebody that's going to meet your match. But it's going to be over with. You don't know how that's going to turn out. Do you really want to risk that? Like, come on now. Some people are just getting tired of the same old nonsense. Like, why you can't have good events without it turning into some form of argument, fight, or worse. And again, in some situations, some of y'all should be doing a little bit better and being a little bit better because, again, when you got younger ones around you, is that the thing you want to present? Is that the blueprint you want to present to them? Straight up. Selena, baby. Top of the morning, sis. Top of the morning. That's the thing again. Is that the representation you want to give to the younger ones? Again, it's supposed to be about conflict resolution. I can have a conflict with you. That don't necessarily mean it got to turn violent or deadly. It just means I'm going to have a straight conversation with you. And if we can't have a conversation as adults with words, and if we got to take it to the boxing gloves, then so be it. Straight up. Nothing more, nothing less, right? I don't care how old I get. Even if I thought I was in any type of situation, I'd rather throw these hands than to have to throw a bullet at you. No doubt, sis. Good luck on the intern and all that. You already know. But you gotta have these talks. And like I said, I'm gonna probably be doing my little spurts here and there. It don't matter what time it's getting done. It's just getting done. Straight up. But yeah, come on there. Some people hate to hear the truth, but it's real facts. In order for certain things to stop, Gotta put a stop to it. How many times you want to keep allowing people to fuck up the feng shuis because of beef that ain't even really beef? Again, if it ain't that necessary for me to have to do something to you, shoot, I can keep it pushing, or we can just have a conversation and that's it. Nobody got to get hurt. I got old. But it's sad. Again, we got the mentality again. And I'm going to say this towards my folks for anything. It's sad we could go against each other and not go up against the real shit that's fucking keeping us at bay. You know, this mentality to say, oh, well, it don't matter. It ain't affecting me, so I don't care about what goes on. Nah, you should care in some cases because, again, it could affect you. It could affect your family. It could affect the people that you are around. Let's not forget that. Gun violence of any sort affects everybody. So if you think it don't, you're smoking rocks. I think I ain't say that in a while, so let me say that again. You're smoking rocks. You smoking them heavy rocks to think that. Because again, when there are children involved, when there are disabled people involved, when there's older folks, it doesn't matter what the age. If they come in for a great time and maybe some social networking or whatever the case is, why mess that up? You got that much of an issue with somebody, you can't wait to see them on a one-on-one when there's not too many people around? That's crazy, man. Like I was saying yesterday, people I had little situations with, shit, even when I seen them in places where I ain't expect to see them. If it wasn't nothing, it wasn't nothing. And a lot of times it wasn't. Because we done either already said what we had to say to each other or we done already scrapped it out. And either which way, it's a respect level. Y'all wilding right now. No kid should have to worry about being in the hospital for a couple days, a couple weeks, none of that. Just because of your negligence and your nonsense and your pride and your ego, man. Let that shit go. Go back to the unwritten codes that y'all quote unquote always try to preach in these streets. Nah, no innocence, nigga. See a person when you see a person, if it is that serious, do what you do elsewhere. Go find a mutual place where nobody gets hit. Come on that. It's bonkers for real, man. It really is. Some people, again, will take light of this until it hits home. Then it ain't funny no more. I'm just saying. At what point do we say enough is enough? You know, let's get things back in order. Because again, how you expect certain things to happen, how you expect to build something positive when you're destroying that shit from the foundation. You basically destroying all the blueprints. My bad, y'all. You know it ain't the city without hearing one of them in the morning. Yeah. Let's hope it ain't no fire for real. Let's hope it's not no fire for real. Too early in the day for that. Let's hope not. It's another one coming. But yeah, you know, it's serious now. Give me 1 second. Yeah, my bad, y'all. You know it wouldn't be the city without hearing that in the morning. Or at least some form of silence. But yeah, you know, that's all I'm saying. It's time to start thinking better and being better. It's not about being a role model of, no, it's just about being the best person you can be and trying to set the blueprint. See, there's a lot of situations where a lot of these younger folks would probably follow into something positive if y'all would show them something outside of. And I think that's the problem. You know, we ain't saying, you know what, nah. Even if we got to make you an example and show the people that's thinking of doing these things, nah, you ain't going to do it. Because you ain't going to have the chance to do it. Straight up. Again, holding people within the community accountable for their actions and their crimes, regardless to what. I don't care what your situation is. You did something that you know for a fact is something that everybody's standing against. I'm not standing with you on that shit. Keep it pushing. Like, for real. Keep that pushing all the way. That's what I'm saying. For some people, you will sit here and cry about, oh, we got to do this and we got to do that. But and some of y'all be right along with the problem that you're crying about. Like I said, how could you cry about, prime example, death, graffiti, certain things when you know the people doing whatever and you not saying nothing, or you just not even holding them accountable? Come on there. Like it becomes a point where it's like, you know what? Look, I understand to some degree, but at some point you gotta do a little bit better. But there were certain situations that never really took place because, again, we from that era where it wasn't going to go down. And again, if you thought it was going to go down, we were going to make you an example, and a good example of not to do it. You can name not even a handful. You can name more than countless events where the people stood on business. Everybody that was there, even the people that was guarding the ship, standing on business. Now, you ain't doing that. You might as well go on elsewhere. Don't do it. Don't put yourself in this predicament because you're not going to like it. And for every time you think to do it, it's going to be the same situation, the same outcome, till you get it correct. And it needs to be that way. Because, again, it's a sad notion to think that, you can't have nothing without it being destroyed within your own community. And no, it's not just our own folks. It's a lot of people. Because, again, we ain't the only ones who resonate in these communities. So everybody's held accountable for something. Straight up. Don't say you're a part of the community if you're not really trying to put something or some form of effort into the community. Because it could be a lot better than what it is. Some of y'all choose to turn a blind eye, keep coddling, and not holding people accountable until it really does affect you. And then now all of a sudden, you want to switch that button on. Don't wait till it's too late to do that. Best way to solve a problem is attacking that problem the way it's supposed to be attacked. Because, again, it's supposed to be coming to the right solution and the right answer. Not the same results all the time. That's the thing. Again, when you sit here and say that, people want to look at you funny. Oh, you trying to? No, it's real raps. Like, prime example, you can't be crying about people getting robbed or people, boosting out the stores and stuff like that when you hanging around everybody that's doing that same shit. You can't cry about it if that's what you don't. You can't cry about the shootings and the murderers and then you are hanging around them. Or you, again, not holding them accountable. So, again, at what point do you say stand up together and do something? And if you ain't, then you might as well just sit back and continue to let things happen and don't complain about it until you actually decide to get up and do something. I think it's something to take into consideration for real. Because, again, you got to start getting back to that. It's not just about life preservation. It's about community preservation. And, again, what's the best thing to preserve? Children's safety and safety in general. Nobody should be robbed of life trying to live life. That's something that people need to think about today, too. Because, again, if you think that it's cool or if you think that it's okay for these things to continue to happen, then you need to move out of the community as soon as possible. Because you're going to still be a part of that problem and not be part of that solution that we're trying to build. And, again, let's keep it real. When some of y'all are not even holding your kids accountable for the things that they're doing out here, that could be a problem too. This is why we still have the continuation And we still got the same cycle going on now. Like, come on now. If you know your kid out here being disrespectful, you don't think at some point you should check him before it becomes a real situation, and then it's going to be something that you can't get them out of? Because some of these ones really like wilding out, and they're not even that. It's crazy how you're not holding them accountable, but you get mad with other people holding them accountable. Make that make sense. I can remember we all got held accountable. It didn't matter what the situation was. We didn't just get held accountable by the older folks. We got held accountable by the folks that was the young adults that what we consider right now. The young adults. Everybody was holding somebody accountable, son. Come on, man. Can't even do that no more. I don't say that to my child. You don't know. You don't like. So then, what's the problem then? If it's about holding accountability, right? If you're supposed to be able to hold people accountable, why is it a problem? Like I said, some of y'all want to hold others accountable for things, but you ain't holding yourself accountable. Keep it a buck. Like again, some of y'all will allow your children to be out here wilding out, saying the most ill, disrespectful stuff towards adults, even other children, and anything else. Like you don't care until it becomes a serious situation. You know what I'm saying? At what point do you say, enough is enough, man? I think we have dropped the ball for too long. Now it's time to pick it up and get back to where we left off or where we were starting at. On that. It's crazy. And again, I had to continue this talk from yesterday because, again, I feel like this. We have to start doing better in all of these communities. We have to start being better. We have to start being more aware, more conscious of decisions being made. And, again, when things like that happen, hey, hold them accountable. Simple. They ain't gonna never get no real growth and elevation if you don't learn about that. Like, that's the thing. If you can't even hold yourself accountable, how you gonna hold anybody else accountable? If you're not gonna hold kids accountable for things that they're doing and you know is wrong, you can't get mad when somebody decides to correct them. Because again, I'm from that era where everybody was correcting. It does take a village to raise a child. It's not just a mother and a father. Because in some situations, there is no mother and father involved at all. So again, it's like they basically left out to the wolves. Unless the right people come along and guide them in the right direction. So I think that's something people need to think about. It's supposed to be unity within the community. It's never supposed to be y'all divided just because, Oh, we divided because we don't like each other. So what? We don't gotta like each other. But if the main goal is safety and preservation, nigga, then I'm with it. Oh, what we doing? All right, cool. Let's go do this. Simple as that. Again, y'all allow certain things to divide y'all when, again, it's more about unity and numbers. You can't accomplish everything doing it by itself. Even a small number of people can only do but so much. But it takes a big group to really make this thing work. And for those that cry about wanting to be a part of talks, where y'all really be at when you got people who are having these discussions? Those that say that support those type of movements, where y'all really at when these movements be happening? Or where y'all be at when people be doing these talks? Like I said, can't cry about something and you ain't trying to be a part of nothing. Nothing that's at least constructive, something that could leave a future blueprint for you and yours. So I just really want to just have this little discussion this morning because, again, in any situation, Nobody should have to worry about losing their life or being in a damn situation just because. And again, when you got people who are being a part of the problem, you need to be a part of that solution to eradicate the problem. Period. Overall, just wanted to have this talk and convo real quick. Got some things I got to finish doing. It's an early, blessed morning. And again, happy Thursday to everybody pulled in. Y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But again, I think it's important for the main ones to really unite. Because guess what? There are people right now who are making things work. And they coming from different backgrounds where they ain't gonna never see eye to eye on things. But guess what? It's all about the preservation. It's about the general consensus of things. Let's make this thing work so we can try to continue a blueprint. And, people can follow in those blueprints. For the programs that are still available, some of y'all should be trying to get into that. Again, set a blueprint. For those that are skilled workers and they got the young ones that actually are trying to learn, hey, continue to keep pushing them to learn these things. Again, it's about preservation, but it's also about elevation and growth. And how can you elevate in life when you're not even trying to get on the road to success? You're not even trying to put your foot where you need to put your foot at. BMF, what's going on, my guy? I see you up in here. It's just something to think about for real. You want to at least say, all right, well, if we trying to do these things, let's do these things the right way, and then we ain't got to worry about much. Safety more than anything. Because that's what it's supposed to be about, safety at all costs. Preservation of all costs. Because again, when you are doing these type of senseless things, you are tearing up and destroying basically what you say you trying to build, which is unity within the community. And no matter how deep the situation could be, again, you gotta think, is doing certain things really worth it? Some of y'all need to think about these things before you just randomly, because again, if it's going to cost you your livelihood or possibly somebody else's, it ain't worth it. So, it's time to keep it real. But yeah, overall, just, no, it's time to just really like round up the good people who really want to see change and focus and continue to focus on that. And for the ones who are making the strides, may y'all continue to make those strides. Keep elevating. The numbers are going to come. And they're going to come because guess what? When the right people align, usually things will start taking off. But again, make sure that these people are actually for the groundwork that needs to be done. So overall, I think it's important. Keep having these talks. No doubt, BMF, appreciate you, my guy. And son, how you gonna go to McDonald's and ain't give nobody in the chat no breakfast? For those who still in the chat, lock the door. BMF can't leave. How you go to McDonald's, bro, and ain't bring nobody else nothing back? Yeah, we're gonna have a fight about that, bro. But no, again, a conversation like that is needed because again, they got to get to some sense of betterment. How we gonna be better if we ain't trying to be better? How we gonna elevate if we scared to do so? So, you know, just it's really time to start banding together for the right reasons. You know, and again, when people do the most unimaginable things, don't sit there and coddle them. You know, don't coddle them. You know, hold them accountable like you're supposed to. You know, but overall, appreciate everybody that rocked out this morning. Ain't gonna hold y'all too long. I got some things I gotta really take care of, and I could be back later. I'm gonna try to bring some feel good vibes. And again, appreciate those sharing out. Appreciate those who have been part of the build, still becoming a part of the build. And yeah, we still gonna have these great conversations. You know, and again, the most important thing to remember is you can't build something great if you're destroying it from the ground up. Or if you're not going to fully put in the work to make sure it works. Get the numbers right. Get the people correct. Start having these conversations when need be. At some point, everybody of all ages is going to have to come to the round table and have a discussion. Because again, it's about safety, public safety, community preservation, and life preservation. Gotta make this work, man. Appreciate everybody that rocked out. Those again celebrating birthdays, another year and another blessing around the sun. You know, and if you was able to see another year in good spirits and good health, give your praises where it's due. Let me get my ass up out of here. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. Everybody that was in attendance this morning, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. All I can do is give you real. That's all I'm gonna do is give you real topics and real builds. Y'all make sure these messages get shared out. You know, again, gotta start getting back to that. You know, when things and tragedies happen in the communities and it's happening at places that's supposed to be fun and everything else, gotta put an end to that shit. Straight up. And like it's no more talking about it. We just gotta really be about it, you know. And again, it starts with accountability. You know, hold those accountable when need be. You know, maybe those things change. You know, but also put your pride, your egos, and differences aside for the betterment and for the bigger picture. So y'all stay safe, keep that third eye open, and until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.